What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, it seems that with something came to my attention, and a lot of the times, journalists and bloggers and people in the industry adjacent, like me, but not as more popular or who have more clout, whatever. They tend to be reactionary. Of course, they're going to talk about the hottest news or whatever for the algorithms or whatever. But I tend to think about things a little bit differently. Well, not so much, but I don't hear what I'm about to say. I'm not hearing. But I'm pretty sure that Sony is worried. Why do I say Sony is worried? Well, remember, Sony announced, we're doing 10 live SaaS GAAS games of service games, right? That's what we got. It was more than 10, whatever, with factions and all these other games, Gran Turismo, blah, 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 whatever, right? And I in my head, I was like, that's a lot of games to games of service. I mean, I guess they're just doing a lot so that one could hit and that's all they need. So I get that, but that's a lot. That's a lot, right? And now recently, I mean, within the past week, I think, so many games of service games shut down. And these games weren't even like bad. They were just not good enough. Not good enough to hang with the big boys, the big 4 or 5. There's only a handful of games. Warzone, Fortnite. I was about to say League of Legends. Overwatch, I guess. Overwatch 2. Apex Legends, that's 4. There's others. But that's, those are the big boys, right? That's the tried and true. They have an audience that's going to stick with them forever, basically. And Sony's trying to get in there. Now, we've just seen like at least 2, I think 3. Well, it was 2 that were going, that got canceled this week. And then Ubisoft announced they're canceling like 4 of them that haven't even been announced or whatever. It's like the GAAS apocalypse, right? And Sony's trying to jump in. Now, some people will say, well, they're just making room for Sony games. Sony games are going to come out, they're going to be great, right? Or they're not going to be good enough and they're going to be like MAG. Or they're going to be like Destruction All-Stars. Not good enough. And so, I mean, it is a waste of money if you want to look at it that way. But, you got to spend money to make money, right? So, I give them props for trying. But their service has been, their track record, let's just say, has been less than anything. I was going to say optimal, but it hasn't even been that. It's been less than adequate, let's just say. That's a word they like to use. When they say they, I mean Sony. So, think about, try to be in Sony's shoes. Like, sitting there like, yeah, we're gonna service, yeah. And then, across the board, all these games and service games getting axed because of this, that, not enough players, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't that make you scared and nervous? I mean, nervous. They're already scared and nervous about the Activision Blizzard deal. We're not talking about that right now, maybe in another video. But, it makes me think, like, what's really going to happen? If history dictates, then they're going to fail again and again and again. 10 times they're going to fail. I mean, the show came out. Is that a games of service? I would count that as one of them. Is that blown? I mean, it's the only one, so they have that. I mean, I already mentioned the other 2 PlayStation games, PlayStation 5 launch games for the most part, and trash. Nobody played them. They're done. I mean, I don't even know if there's still service for Destruction All Stars out. I don't know. They still updating that game. Who knows? So that's my thing. That's my quandary. I mean, is that the last kind of hope for Sony besides kind of throwing monkey wrenches in the Activision Blizzard deal? I'm not gonna talk about it. But we'll see. I think Sony has a tough road ahead of them when it comes to diversifying their portfolio. They don't have a diverse portfolio. The strongest thing that they have is what they've been making, and that's been waning. They are very lucky that their TV division, The Last of Us show, is successful, but that doesn't directly translate into the success of that genre by them, because it is a narrative story first and foremost. That's why the show is really so popular, because that's the game. You know, the gameplay elements within the game are nothing special, nothing new, nothing like, oh my gosh, the gameplay is so good in The Last of Us. It's not. I've never heard anyone say that. All they say is, oh snap, Joel got his face stomped in, and Ellie beat homegirl, and homegirl got some big muscles and got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, look, if that's what they want to do for the rest of their days, then that's fine. But I think that Sony should try to start focusing on gameplay. Like, a perfect example is Astro's Playroom or Astro's Big Adventure, whatever, the Astro thing, the Astro demo that came out with the, I think it was Astro's Play. And that's pure, it's not pure gameplay. It does have a nostalgia aspect to it, which helps. But that's the closest thing I've seen from Sony in a long time. I mean, Ratchet and Clank to an extent, but that's an old formula that they've just shined up real good. As far as like putting all those things together, I mean, Ratchet and Clank, sure, I'll put Ratchet and Clank, probably Ratchet and Clank and the Astro IP as probably Sony's most, I was gonna say greatest, but it's their most, it's something to look forward to, as far as it's their most promising IPs as far as longevity and expanding the IP and making bigger games. Like The Last of Us, we're gonna do another one of those, another tragic, horrible, sad dad game. Are you gonna do another sad dad Kratos game? Or is it gonna be Atreus? Is he gonna get a wife and then be a sad dad himself, have a kid? And then it'd be like little Kratos. Your granddaddy's name was Kratos, so now your name is Kratos, but you're not Junior, because I'm not. Wait, he would be the third. Anyway, Sony needs to diversify. Even like their tried and true game that was Gran Turismo has fallen off. Now people say, oh, it's good. It's not good, because Zeitgeist dictates good or not. Whether it is good, if it's a critical darling, nobody cares about that. Shareholders don't care about critical darlings. They care about, this is the best racing game, period. And Gran Turismo is not that anymore. And Forza Motorsport's about to come out and smack it down the ladder even faster, even more. It's like Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon are tag teaming Gran Turismo. They tried to do Gran Turismo Sport, it didn't work. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying they're not trying. I'm just saying it's not working. So they need to figure out a way to make Gran Turismo a viable #1 racing platform again, to be better than Forza Motorsport. They need to figure that out. And they need to figure out how they make a first party Hi-Fi Rush, basically. I mean, this is kind of stemming from the success of Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is basically a mix between Marvel Spider-Man, the old God of War, Devil May Cry, Jet Set Radio for the art style and music, and Sunset Overdrive has got that flavor. It's got a lot of things going for it in a good way, and the writing is good. It's not bad. It's not cringy, not cringeworthy. And so, like, where are those games? Like I said, Ratchet and Clank is probably the closest thing I would say to that. But why is it that they have Ratchet and Clank, they have Jack and Daxter, they have all these IPs that they could be putting out there as a separate pillar of their IPs, you know? Like, you look at Nintendo. You know, they got Mario, they got Kirby, they got Zelda, they got I don't know why I'm blanking on Nintendo property. The Splatoon. You know, they have different pillars just for games, right? And they keep going. Mario's got a billion games. You know, Splatoon 3 is out. Kirby's got a billion games. Zelda's got a billion games. Now Jack and Daxter, they had some games, but they let it go. They just said forget about it, you know. And that was Naughty Dog, right? Jack and Daxter. Naughty Dog did Jack and Daxter. Insomniac did Ratchet and Clank. So Insomniac went back to Ratchet and Clank. That's cool. But the cadence is not enough, right? So like we get one per generation or two per generation. Why? Because it takes so long to make these games. Why? Because they're bigger than they used to be. Okay. I mean, you got to put some more people on and get it out more, I guess, or something. You know. I don't know. They have a lot of IPs that they're letting go. They're being irresponsible with their IPs, and in that they're not utilizing them. And I think it's a shame. And they're focusing solely on this narrative movie-like experiences. When gamers want to play games, let's look at Hi-Fi Rush, a game that is it's gamey. It's like it's all the best parts of a game. It's like visually, I was gonna say aesthetically, same difference. You know, it's a game that has all the good stuff. It's like a game. It's like if games didn't go like the movie route, like how Sony's doing, but kept doing like Jet Set Radio and Jack and Daxter and all these other games, blah 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 blah, right? And then Hi-Fi Rush comes out. It's the evolution of that old type of game, except they modernized it enough to give you a little bit of kind of nostalgia feelings, whether it's the art style, whether it's like the gameplay, mission structure and stuff. Although the mission structure doesn't feel like an old game. I bet you if that game had a different, like if it was realistic looking, it would probably be closer. It would probably be closer. Closer compared to Sunset Overdrive, as opposed to like Jet Set Radio stuff. I think it could work both ways actually, but the one thing that I haven't heard too many people. I've heard people say yes about this, but not too many people are emphasizing it. The animation in this game is top notch. It's so good. It's like you're fighting and his animation's fine, whatever. You see it all the time. He's running to the beat and stuff. Even when you walk, like y'all probably don't know that you could just walk. You don't have to run all the way. You could walk. You do like half speed, and he's still walking to the beat. It's funny. But when you call in, I just have Peppermint right now. I haven't even gotten like the other people, the other two members. So I just have Peppermint to call in. And when Peppermint comes in, she comes in, super bam, like a super dope animation. She lands, like, and she shoots her gun, and then she turns around and does like super dope fly jump out. I was like, yo, even that animation is hot. Even that animation is like, as someone who likes to watch anime, although I've been falling off a minute, I like anime. I like the animation is kind of the one thing. I watch anything that has beautiful animation. I don't care what the story is about. I'll just watch for the animation. That's the kind of anime dude I am. I know, whatever. Hit me up on the comments about how awful I am about watching anime. Go ahead. Okay, so the last anime I did watch was the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. But the animation in this game is so nice that it's like, wow. It's like, I wish most games that were like this would treat their, the animation with care, the detail, because it shows a lot. It tells, like, all the people who love animation and anime and pay attention to those things will gravitate to this game for that part alone. Even and the thing about this game, which is so great, is that it doesn't penalize you for not being on beat. It's a rhythm action game. It doesn't penalize you for being off beat, but you get rewards if you are on beat. So they've made it so that there isn't I've died like I think 2 or 3 times so far, And that's because I just have been trying. I just been, but the barrier of entry is low, and it's just something. It's like, I don't know. Some games are like, oh, those would be punishing it hard, you know, like the Souls games. I'm like, okay, sure. Some people like that, but just give a game everybody can play and enjoy. That's all. But anyway, I'm getting off track, and I probably talked about that before anyway. But let me know in the comment: is Sony crazy trying to jump into the GAAS games genre without that many with 0 hits as far as GAAS games? They do have Bungie now, but they have Destiny, but Destiny was a rocky launch too, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. So let me know, is like, how many games of these 10, let's just say 10, do you think are gonna actually hit and be good? Do you think Factions is gonna be that game? I don't think so, because it's too specific of a genre. It's not like a Fortnite where you could be like, oh, let's have Spider-Man and Kratos and Master Chief all in the game, and Ariana Grande is gonna do a concert in The Last of Us. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen because of the subject matter. So, although Factions may be a good game, technically, it's not going to be a big game like Fortnite, because Fortnite is literally a pop culture game, and that's what Sony needs to make. They had somewhat of a chance with Destruction All Stars, but it was all, you know, I don't think Sony's in. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna contradict myself. I don't think Sony's interested in doing a lot of licensed IP stuff. Now Spider-Man 2 is coming out this year. Well, yeah, that's a whole other thing. So, but like, say, like, if they made a game that's like Fortnite that can I bit my lip. Sorry, that can facilitate this. Do you think they would be like, yeah, let's get some Bugs Bunny characters up in here. Let's pay for all these IPs to be up in our game? I don't think so. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Is Sony crazy? I mean, they're crazy, but are they crazy for trying to be in the GAAS games? How they're going about it? Do you think they're gonna succeed? I doubt it. And of the games that we know so far, which ones do you think are going to kind of be the ones? It's gonna be the Matter game? Is that the Bungie's new game? I don't know. Let me know. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one.